All right, guys, and we are back with another episode of the Mortgage Pro podcast. This is the first solo episode, so it's just going to be me talking today, and I have a very, very crucial topic that's pressing based on the times that we're going through as loan officers in a mortgage industry. But if you don't know who I am, I'm the host of the Mortgage Pro podcast. My name is Eric Braun, and let's jump right into it. So the topic that actually, before I forget, guys, remember to review, share, subscribe, and join our community on Facebook, the Mortgage Pro community. We are growing. We are excited about what we are doing. And please share this episode with other mortgage pros so that we can continue to grow. But now I'll jump right into the specific content. So the goal for today is to give you guys practical advice on a very, very crucial topic. And that topic is mindset. Now, I'm not going to be giving you guys fluff and just, I'm not a motivational speaker. I'm not, somebody who wakes up at 4 a.m. and reads a book, and I'm not that guy. But I will tell you, I'm a loan officer and I'm a mortgage professional that is going through the same time you are going through. And we can all kind of agree that mindset is extremely important right now. So let's touch on why. Let's look at what's going on in the industry right now. Number one, you got rates. Do I need to say more? We hit 7.5, back down to 6%. Now we're back up at 6.75. We went from, I feel like we skipped over the fives, if I remember correctly. We went from 4 to 6 almost overnight. We've been getting beat up. Rates are not as low as they used to be. And generally speaking, as rates increase, the industry gets tougher, right? Affordability gets hit. Refinances are obviously gone. We all kind of understand that. Inventory is a problem in our industry right now. So even if you find a buyer that can afford the house or afford to buy a house, and they're okay with rates being where they are and they qualify, it's still extremely hard for them to find a home. There's still bidding wars in some markets. And this could be different than your market, but as a general, inventory is low. I think there's just over 1 million houses for sale in the whole entire country, and that's leading to difficulties. Then on top of all of that stuff, if that stuff wasn't enough, we have margin compression affecting, companies, branch managers, loan officers. All of a sudden you need to, charge points for a decent rate, and there isn't as much money in every single loan as it used to be. That's affecting, the bottom line for people on certain models and companies as a whole. Margin compression is a huge problem as well. And if that wasn't enough, you have layoffs and fear. And, your company they could be on their third round of layoffs. The underwriter that you had a good relationship with doesn't work at your company or any company right now. So you have, stress on operations as far as like, is my job going to be here tomorrow? So that all being said, from this moment on, we're going to focus on the positive and I'm going to try and give you practical advice on how to maintain a good, rock solid, positive mindset. But I first wanted to touch on some of the key problems that we're going through as an industry and why this topic is extremely important now more than ever. So the importance of mindset. Mindset is everything. I mean, you have to be able to keep going. And I think that's what having a positive mindset allows you to do. It allows you to keep going when things are tough. When things are tough as an industry and as a whole, or it's a tough file or a tough day. We get beat up. It's a constant roller when the market was amazing and when the market is not amazing. It's a constant roller coaster. Clients are emotional. The real estate professionals are emotional. Something pops up. We're constantly dealing with problems. It's an up and down roller coaster. So you have to be able to keep going, and your mindset is going to determine if you can or not. You have to move on faster from your L's or your losses, right? I always talk about the importance of like, or the faster you can move on from L's, the faster you can get to another W. If I'll use the analogy, like if you're in, and I don't play sports, or I don't play basketball rather, and never did, and I'm definitely not good, but I'm a fan of basketball. I'm becoming a fan of basketball. If I use an analogy or an example where, let's say I'm an NBA player and I'm running down the court and I miss an easy fast break layup, like I just airball it. If I let that one shot determine how I'm going to react to the next however many minutes of the game and however many plays ahead of me, I'm going to fail. The best players will miss a layup, immediately switch to defense, and pretend like that layup never even happened, or that fail never even happened. So you have to move on fast from your L's. Mindset is going to allow you to do that. Mindset is also your mindset, your inner dialogue is also, it's the first thing that greets you in the morning. As soon as you open your eyes. Now, some people are just not morning people, and I'm not the guy that wakes up and like everything is great and everything's positive. But if you have a rock solid mindset, that's the first thing that you encounter in the morning, right? Before you speak to any client, before you roll over, if you have a wife or a husband, and speak to them, before you brush your teeth, you're greeted with your mindset. And that's another reason why it's so important. And last but not least, as salespeople, as mortgage professionals, whether you're a realtor, a loan officer, any sort of sales, you are the business. We've been told this many, many, many times. So if you can't get you right, how do you expect yourself to be successful in the business, right? This isn't like, yes, we push a product, but at the end of the day, our product is us and our expertise and how we deliver. And if we don't get us right or our mindset right, where are we going, right? So before I get into the practical advice, I want to quickly touch on some disclaimers. Like I said in the beginning, I am not a motivational speaker. I'm not a life coach. I'm not the positive wake up at 5 a.m. meditate kind of guy. I do, however, have practical experience with working on my mindset because I once didn't have the best. Okay. As many of you know, if you listen to the, intro episode, I didn't come from a background where it was like I was destined to be successful. I didn't have many life skills or life experience getting into this industry. I was 20 years old. I don't have any credentials as far as I'm not a life coach and not a motivational speaker. However, I can tell you I'm a person that once didn't have the best mindset, didn't believe in himself. And now I can honestly say that, that is drastically improved. So that's my kind of quick disclaimer, to make sure that you guys understand, like, I'm not preaching, and I'm definitely not, going to pursue a career in motivational speaking. Let's get into the content, the practical advice. So my first piece of advice and the first thing that I needed to do when I wanted to change my mindset was ask myself, what are my inputs, or what is my input? Meaning, what am I listening to? What kind of podcasts am I consuming? The news, right? At one point when rates were going up, originally, I had to turn off the news because I was letting all of that information poison what I was doing every single day. I was letting it hold me back. I was letting it stop me from taking action. Oh, what's the point anyway? The market's going to crash, like I immediately shifted into this negative mindset because all I was being bombarded with and my input was off. So ask yourself, what are you listening to? Are you tuning into the Mortgage Pro podcast? I think this is a great thing. This is a great input. What other stuff are you listening to? When you get home from work or the first thing you consume in the morning, ask yourself, what are you consuming? What are my inputs? The next thing is, who are you around? Which also kind of, it plays on the same topic. Whether that's people you are around in the office, right? If you work in an office, are you hanging around the loan officers that are all doom and gloom and, sinking into their chair and not taking action and leaving the office at, 12 o'clock because they don't have anything to do and they might as well just give up and go home? And is that who you are around? Because then you can kind of figure out why your mindset is off, right? You are who you associate with. Other than the office, like friends and family, right? Maybe now is a good time to not really, hang out with the guy that says all he does is spew negativity, right? Yeah, you love him. You can love him from a distance. And right now, if you believe that you are your business and mindset is important, you need to take a look at these things and ask yourself, do I need to be around these people, whether it's your friends or your family? That might be harsh, but it's the truth. My practical piece of advice on this topic, other than, plug into different podcasts, think about what you're inputting, stay away from the negative people, is also connect with positive people. Whether that's, you kind of becoming buddy with a top producer in your office, or the guy that doesn't seem to be fazed by what's going on. He still shows up and works every day. Maybe his numbers are down just like everybody else, but like he's still showing up as if it's 2021. Like maybe it's hanging around to connect with him a little bit more, or it's plugging into our community on Facebook, right? Get connected with the Mortgage Pro community. Get connected with me. I'll be your biggest fan right now. So make sure you connect with good people aside from just avoiding the negative ones. So that's my first piece of advice: input. And secondly is, the power of association. Next is mind and body. Again, I'm not a personal trainer, not a super health freak or nut. I'm not vegan. I don't even know if vegan is healthy anymore. It changes every year, it feels like. But think about your mind and body, because whether you're an exercise person or not, or whether you're, into health, studies have shown over and over again, if you exercise, you're better off. If you eat well, you're better off. So maybe now's the time to get that in order. And you don't have, I'm an extreme guy, meaning like it's either I'm eating freaking crap, McDonald's and donuts and dessert and everything, or I'm intermittent fasting, eating, high fat, high protein diet, paleo, I'm not touching it. Like that's just who I am. I recommend you don't be like that, because, it's not sustainable for me anyway. I'm not like a pro athlete, so it's not like something that's on my tip top priority, but it absolutely should be up there. Think about what you're eating, how often you're exercising, Not only are there physical benefits, but here's the important thing, what a lot of people don't realize. When you show up to the gym and you do so on a consistent basis and you're powering through a workout, maybe, you feel like you're done with that set. You're just like, let me just give it two more. When you power through that workout, that's the same sort of mindset you need to power through going the extra mile at work and powering through the difficulties that this market is giving us. If you just lay down and say, I was supposed to do 10 reps, but I'm doing 8 and that's good, you're going to apply that same mindset to business. Don't snooze your alarm. Don't stop at 8 reps. Don't leave the office before, you normally do just because you can today. That mindset of powering through is going to translate to powering through this market. So not only are there physical benefits and there's scientific research on how health and exercise is going to help us feel better, but it's also growing and developing that muscle to power through. The next thing I wanted to talk about was something that one of my mentors, Michael Higgins, taught me, and that's stay on offense. Stay on offense. Offense means, I'll explain what defense is. Defense is dealing with the problem and going through your emails and replying and being reactive and, answering the phone to not saying don't answer the phone, but these are all examples of defense. Offense is scheduling the appointments with those referral partners, following up with clients, speaking to clients, doing, introduction calls or intake calls. Offense is what you proactively do in your business to make the phone ring and bring the business in. Defense is everything that happens after that. I think what a lot of people fall into the habit of doing is they just wait for the phone to ring, sit around and play defense all day. And while defense is great, and, they're saying defense wins championships and a championship team needs good defense. Wow, we're using a lot of sports metaphors today for somebody who's not really a sports guy. A championship team needs defense. But imagine if that same championship team that's excellent at defense just stopped bringing the ball up the court, just stopped taking any shots. They're not going to win, right? So get on offense, take action. Take action. Another great analogy that helped kind of explain the importance of taking action for me is, if you ever walk by your sink, and this is a somewhat subtopic to this, but if you ever walk by your sink and there was dirty dishes in it, and you said to yourself, I'll do it tomorrow, right? And then there's more dirty dishes. And then you're like, I'll do it tomorrow. Sunday, I'll do Sunday. And then Sunday came around and there's twice as many dishes in the sink. It is now that much harder to do the dishes. So make sure not only are you taking action, but you continue to take action. You don't let things pile up. You go out there and you play offense. The last thing that I wanted to talk about with you guys today is setting your expectations right now. And I'm not a big, lower the bar kind of guy. But now and this year may not be your best year yet, production-wise. And now listen, for some people it will be, especially if you're newer to the industry, you weren't closing a lot, like you can easily grow year over year right now if your starting point wasn't that high. But you need to understand that this year, and you may not, and it may sound counterproductive to expect this, but it's important for a reason that I'll explain. This year may not be your biggest year yet. And if you understand that, then you'll be able to take action without seeing results. And that is the key to success in any sales position. You need, and it's the hardest part of sales. I made a video about this. I put a tweet out about this, and I think it got 150 likes on Facebook. And whenever something like that gets 150 likes on Facebook, you know it's true, right? The hardest part about sales is sometimes you work for free and you don't see results. And the quicker you learn that and detach yourself from the result and focus on the work, it will allow you to work for that much longer. So make sure you set your expectations and understand, like, this is a year where I grind. I do twice as much work. I close half the amount of business, and that's okay because I'm still going to show up and I'm going to play offense every single day. That's my take on mindset, guys. I've said this multiple times. I'm not a motivational speaker. I hope this hyped you up, but my goal for today was not to hype you up. It was to give you some practical advice and what I have done and continue to try and do on my mindset every single day. And I think the people with a good mindset are the people that are going to get through this. And there's a lot of people, unfortunately, that they can't grasp this, and it's going to be, I don't want to say the death of them because that sounds harsh, but for lack of a better word, the death of them. So I hope you guys got something out of this. I hope you make it a point to work on your mindset. And I hope you tune in for our next episode. Subscribe, like, all that stuff. I don't want to say it again, but I need to. I appreciate you guys that have done that. And make sure you join our community on Facebook, the Mortgage Pro community. But I'm your host, Eric Braun. This is the Mortgage Pro podcast. Mindset, get after it, and kill it this week.